Now to continue with our discussion, we will now discuss about corrections due to sag. Okay, so for correction due to sag, this is the formula. Okay, looking at the formula, this is actually similar to the formula for deflections of beams. Okay, ito siyang, this is actually omega, no? Omega squared L cube over 24p squared. So, sa higher na mga subjects ninyo, probably by next sem, you will encounter these formulas on deflections. Okay, we use a similar formula in which the weight is equal to the unit weight times the length. This is the unit weight of the tape times the nominal length of the tape, or if it used the whole tape length, then this is nominal length. If it used a portion of that tape or just a fraction or a part of that tape, then that would be your length. Okay, over 24p, and P is the tension or pull applied during measuring. Okay, so we denote the correction due to sag as C sub S. Ayun. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yung omega is the weight of the tape per unit length. Okay, so that's kilogram per meter. Okay, let's try to answer this problem. Problem number 18. 30-meter tape, so that's a nominal length, is supported only at its ends and under a steady pull of 8 kg. If the tape weighs 0.91 kg, determine the sag correction and the correct distance between the ends of the tape. Okay. Now, yung hanapin natin is, of course, the correction due to sag and also the measured length kung meron siyang sag when we use the whole tape length. Kasi syempre kung wala siyang sag, straight lang, of course, that would be 30 meters. But because of sag, let's say dito, because of sag, di na siya abot sa 30. So what would be this length? So yun yung hinahanap natin. So let us identify muna yung mga given. First, we have the nominal length, which is, or L na lang mismo. We have the given length, which is a 30-meter tape and supported at its end under a steady pull of 8 kg. So, the pull applied is 8 kg. Okay? So, ulitin ko ha, i-illustrate na lang natin dito. If the tape is held both at its ends lang, supposedly kung straight siya, the distance would be 30 meters. But because of sag, meron siyang correction due to sag. Ayan, so ganun lang siya. Hindi siya abot sa 30 meters. Okay? So, ito yung correction due to sag natin. So, ang hinahanap natin is what would be this length. Okay? So, tawagin natin dito as the measured length. What would be the measured length? Okay? Or the corrected tape length between the ends of the tape. Okay? Meron din tayong weight of the tape. So, that's capital W because it's not per linear unit. So, the whole weight of actually in kilogram dapat weight dapat, di ba, Newton? Pero if consistent naman tayo sa pull as kilogram and weight as kilogram, so basically, kung gagamit tayo ng Newton, that's kilogram meter per second squared for pull and also kilogram meter per second squared for weight, ma-cancel out din naman. So, okay lang if we use kilogram for both units. So, sabi dito, the tape weighs 0.91 kilograms. So, determine the sag correction. Okay, to apply the formula, that would be W squared L over 24 P squared. So, we have simply CS is equal to 0.91 squared, that's in kilograms squared, times the length, which is 30. Then, let's divide that by 24, then P applied is 8 squared. So, using calculator, ganun lang siya kadali. So, gamit tayo ng calculator. Okay, that would be 0.91 squared times 30 divided by 24 times 8 squared. So, the answer is 0.0 0.016, that's in meters. So that's the correction due to sag for the whole tape length. So therefore, um, the measured length na, or instead of using measured length, that's the corrected tape length na lang. So let's call that na lang L prime. So let's call this L prime. So for L prime, that would be equal to 30. So what would be our consideration for this? That's 30 meters, of course, minus. Because if it's sagging, kung nagsasag siya, the tape becomes too short, di ba? The tape becomes too short. So that's 30 too short and measuring. So that's 30 minus 0.016 meters. So therefore, the length of both ends, instead of 30 meters, it's only 30 minus ito. So that's 29 point something. That would be 30 minus 0.016. So the ends of the tape is just 29.984 meters. Yan. Ganun lang siya kadali. Okay, let's try to answer this next problem. Problem 19, a 50-meter steel tape weighs 0.04 kilogram per meter and is supported at its end points and at the 8-meter and 25-meter marks. If a pull of 6 kilogram is applied, determine the following. Letter A, correction due to sag between the 0 and 8-meter marks, 8-meter and 25-meter marks, and the 25-meter and 50-meter marks. For letter B, correction due to sag for one tape length, and letter C, correct distance between the ends of the tape. So this is the situation in this problem. So let's say this is the ends of the tape where it is held. So dito at dito. Okay? So sabi sa problem, it is held at its endpoints and at these marks, at the 8-meter mark and the 25-meter marks. Of course, yung 25-meter marks, that's half of the tape, di ba? So let me draw that around here. Let me use this color. So dito, syempre, it is held here. So nagsag siya dyan. Okay? Then it is also held at the 8-meter mark. So this is the 0 meter mark, then 8-meter mark. So it is held around here na lang. It is held around there. Tapos, syempre, ito siya. So therefore, may correction due to sag dito, may correction due to sag dito, and may correction due to sag dito. Okay? So let's call this, ito, label muna natin. This is the 8-meter mark. This is the 25-meter mark. Okay, so therefore the length here, let's call that L1, that's 8. And ito, let's call this L2, that would be 25 minus 8, di ba? So what is 25 minus 8? 17. And that's in meters. Ito, 8 meters. And also, ito, syempre, this is 25 pa. Kasi 50 meters yung tape natin. That is 25. Okay? So let's call this L3. So yung hanapin natin ngayon are the correction due to sag. Syempre, the correction due to sag here is different dito because their lengths are different. And hindi na siya linear kasi if you notice sa formula, the formula involves L squared, di ba? So if may L squared na siya, L is no longer linear. No? So we need to apply the correction for both for all etong tatlong condition. Okay? Okay, so for letter A, let's solve first CS1. Yan. For CS1, that would be, lagyan natin mga given. Determine mo na given. Okay. So the weight of the tape, this time this is omega because it's unit, the weight per tape length. So omega is equal to 0.04 kilogram per meter. Ayan. And the pull applied is 6 kilogram. P is 6 kilogram. Yan. So we know that CS is equal to omega cube. Tama ba? No, omega squared L cube. Okay. divided by 24p squared. So omega squared, that's 0.04 squared times, consistent dapat yung mga unit natin, that's kilogram per meter, times length L1, which is 8 meters, take the cube of that, and divide it by 24. P is 6 squared. So 6 is given in kilograms, so okay na. We don't need to convert. So using our calculator, that will give us 0.04 squared times 8 squared, 8 cubed, divided by 24 times 6 squared. So we have 0.00095. Okay, yan na lang. 5 decimal places. So 95, that would be in meters. So that's C1. Okay, let's proceed to letter B, CS2. So for CS2, using this same formula pa rin, okay, using this same formula pa rin, so sa CS2, that would be 0.04 squared times, this time yung L natin is 17. 17 cube divided by, of course, 24 times 6 squared. So using the same formula, we'll just change 8. So that would be 17. So the answer is 0.00991. 910 na lang. Kasi 5 decimal place yung kinonsider natin. That's in meter. And for letter C, CS3, that would be for the 25 meters na So 25 meters na length for L3. So 0.04 squared times 25 cube divided by 24 times 6 squared. Dito na lang. Let me erase this. So we'll just change this to 25 and you have this answer. So you'll notice that the longer is the length, the bigger is the value of the correction. Syempre kasi bigger than yung niya, yung sag. So that's 0.0282894. Okay. That's in meters. So therefore the total correction due to sag is just 0.00095 plus 0.00910 plus 0.02894, all in meters. So we'll have 0.00095 plus 0.00910 plus 0.02894. So the answer is 0.03899, or kung up to millimeter lang yung unit natin, this is in meters. So up to millimeter, that means 3 decimal places, that's 0.039 meters. So that is the total correction to sag. Okay. That's letter B. This is the total correction for one tape length. Para na dito sa 50 meter tape. Okay. Now, for letter C, the correct distance between the ends of the tape, of course, that's too short, and this time measuring na siya. Okay. So we need to subtract the correction. So for letter C, that's L prime na lang. That would be 50 minus the correction 0.039. So that's 49 points. So kasi bobo sa arithmetic, 50 minus 0.039. So the answer is just 49.961 meters. So that's the length of one tape length, or one span of the tape. So let's now proceed to normal tension. So it is in the tension which is applied to a tape supported over 2 points, which balances the correction due to pull and due to sag. Okay? If you recall, we have correction due to pull. So yung pull kasi, if nag-exceed yung pull mo, that would stretch your tape, so it will make your tape too long. So Kung i-combine mo siya to a correction due to sag, which makes your tape too short, so ang tendency niya is ika-cancel out, magka-cancel out yung ano niya, yung corrections niya. Okay? So normal tension is basically that is the tension that balances the effect of pull and sag. Okay? Ano yung exact tension na kailangan mo exert para ma-balance yung pull niya at saka yung sag niya? Because the effect of pull and sag are opposite. Okay? So ito. Normal tension is the applied pull which will lengthen the tape to equal the shortening caused by the sag. So we denote normal tension as P sub n and with this formula. So this formula is taken from if we equate, this is derived this if we equate the correction due to pull and the correction due to sag. Okay? So equate natin siya, that will give us this formula. And if you notice, medyo complicated yung formula because the left side and the right side contains yung hinahanap nating normal tension. Okay? Okay. So we have this formula, P sub n, which is the normal tension, that is equal to this factor 0.024, 0.204, times the total weight of the tape between supports in kilograms. Then, of course, we know that this is the cross-sectional area times the modulus of elasticity. And P sub S is the standard pull for the tape in kilograms. Okay, let's try to answer number 20. A steel tape weighing 0.85 kilogram has a cross-sectional area of 0.05 square centimeter. The tape measures exactly 30 meters when supported throughout its length under a standard pull of 5.5 kilograms. If the modulus of elasticity is 2.10 times 10 raised to 6 kilogram per centimeter squared, determine the tension required to make the tape equal to its nominal length when supported only at the end point. So basically, we are just looking for P sub n because we are looking for the amount of pull para yung nominal length niya is standardized or ma-cancel out lang yung effect ng both sag and ng tension. Okay, usually kasi pag binigay yung weight ng tape or mass ng tape, involved na doon yung sag because we are involving gravity dito. Okay? So, the steel tape weighs this. So, that would be our W, 0.85 kilogram. Then the cross-sectional area, so that would be capital A, 0.05 square centimeter. The tape measures exactly, okay, so that is the nominal length of the tape, which is 30 meters. So, precise pa siya in four significant figures. Precise up to centimeters. That's 30 meters. Or para precise talaga tayo. That's 30.00 meters when supported throughout its length. Then, meron siyang standard pull, so that's PS, which is 5.5 kilogram. And modulus of elasticity, dito na lang, which is 2.10 times 10 raised to 6 kilogram per square centimeter. Okay, so looking at the formula, we have given na yung W, yung AE, then almost lahat na. So we have P sub n, ito yung unknown, that would be equal. So kopyahan mo natin 0.204 W square root of AE, then over, what was it? Square root of P sub n minus P sub S. So therefore, P sub n, that's 0.204. Yung weight natin is 0.85 kilograms. So times the square root of, anyway, just look at the units. Kailangan consistent yung unit. If the units are not consistent, so you need some derivations or conversions pala. So area is in 0.05. Remember, the area is in 0.05. That's in square centimeter. Then modulus of elasticity, naka-square centimeter din naman. So you'll have 2.10 times 10 raised to 6. Then divide it by the square root of unknown Pn minus P sub S, which is 5.5 kilogram. So consistent naman pa rin naman because sa numerator we have square root of kilogram, then dito kilogram din naman nasa loob ng square root. Ma-cancel out lang. Pero yung unit natin will be na-cancel out naman yung sa ito yung square centimeter dito, na-cancel out lang naman. So it doesn't matter. Okay? So kilogram pa rin yung answer dahil kilogram yung naiwan na unit. Okay? So, using our calculator na lang, this is just shift solve para din tayo mag-trial and error, diretso na lang sa calcu. So, we'll have x is equal to 0.204 times 0.85 times the square root of 0.05 times 2.10 times 10 raised to 6 divided by the square root of normal, that's unknown, minus 5.5. Then just shift solve, process ng calcu. Sobrang tagal. So, a few moments later, the answer is 16.75. Kung mano-mano ni siya, if inyong mano-mano, then baka bukas pa to na solve ng calculator. So this is more on trial and error because the unknown is at both ends of the calcu, or both sides of the equation. Tapos, yung isa naka-enclosed pa sa square root. That's why it's a little bit complicated. Okay. Now let's try to solve this problem that involves combined corrections. This is problem 22 in your handouts. A 50-meter steel tape is of standard length under a pull of 5.5 kg when supported throughout its entire length. So, sulat muna natin yung mga given. That's nominal length equal to 50 meters under a standard pull. So, that would be our P or P1, which is equal to 5.5 kg. That's a standard pull. Supported throughout its entire length. Okay. The tape weighs, so that's omega because it's in per unit length, 0.05 kilogram per meter. So dahil may per meter siya, so it's the unit weight. So it's capital W if kilogram lang siya or newton ang weight. Ito kasi per unit length, so that's small letter. The next has a cross-sectional area. So, yung cross-sectional area niya is 0.04 square centimeters. And being made of steel. So, if it's made of steel, that means meron siyang K, or that's the coefficient of thermal expansion of 0.0000116. Tama ba? That's the expansion meter per degree Celsius. Okay? Ito, kasi it was mentioned that it's made of steel. Then, meron siyang modulus of elasticity. The modulus of elasticity of steel is 2.10 times 10 raised to 6 kilogram per centimeter squared. Okay. What else? By the way, the cross-sectional area, that's square centimeters. Then, this tape was used in the field as to measure a distance that was determined to be 458.650. So that is actually the measured length, 458.650 meters. So at the time the measurement was made, the constant pull applied, so that would be our P2, the applied tension, was 8 kilograms, with the tape supported only at its end points. So supported lang siya at the end points. Okay. I think the question here is what is the correct length. So, eto na lang yung lagay natin yung question. Determine the correct length. Eto. Correct length. So, the true horizontal distance of the line measured. THD. Okay. So, what are the corrections that we should apply here? First, we need to apply the correction due to sorry, wala pa lang due to temperature because although meron tayong coefficient of thermal expansion, it did not mention about the change in temperature. So, di pala to kailangan. I'm so sorry. So, you don't need to use that. Pero kung may change in temperature, then you need to apply correction due to temperature. Okay? So, yung gagamitin natin dito is correction due to pull because there's a change in the amount of pull, and correction due to sag because given yung weight niya. So, first, let us find the first correction. For correction due to pull. So, for correction due to pull, pwedeng i-apply na lang natin because it's kind of linear. Apply na lang natin sa lahat. Okay. We know that C sub P is equal to the change in pull, P2 minus P1, times the nominal length, or the length, okay, applied for P1 over AE. So, for the correction due to pull, we could just use the whole measured length dito. Although, pwede mo siyang isa-isahin kasi if it's a 50 meter tape length, ilang 50 meters yung nagamit mo. Then, yung sobra na lang is 8.65. Then, iba yung correction due to pull doon. I-accumulate mo siya. That is still the same if you just substitute the whole measured length dito. Okay? So, P2, which is 8 minus standard 5.5 times L, that's the measured length na lang, ilagay natin for 58.650 over AE. So, area, cross-sectional area, that's 0.04. Then, makancel out lang naman. We don't need to convert 2.10 times 10 raised to 6. No need to convert the unit for the area. So, that is the correction due to pull. Nope. Dito. Okay, correction due to pull is 8 minus 5.5 times 458.650 divided by 0.04 times 2.10 times 10 raised to 6. So, the correction due to pull CP is 0.014. So, let's use na lang 5 decimal places for this time lang. 0.1365. 1365. Okay. So, that would be in kilogram cancel. Okay. That would be in meter na lang. Kasi meter naman to ginamit natin. Yung centimeter dito, centimeter squared per centimeter squared, na-cancel out. Yung kilogram dito, tsaka kilogram dito, na-cancel out. So, meters na lang. So, the unit is in meters. Okay, that's the correction due to pull. Then, we apply correction due to sag. So, dalawa lang palang correction yung ma-apply dito. So, for the correction due to sag, this time, it's 400. Sa whole 458 line, ilang beses tayong nag 50 meters? That would be 450 divided by 50 or 45 divided by 5. So, that's 9 times. Diba? So, 9 times tayong gumamit ng whole tape length. Ayan. So, ganyanin ko na lang. Up to yung last na tape, yung last na tape length is 8 point something na lang. Yung last na tape length, 8.65 or 650 meters na lang. Then, eto, syempre, whole tape length to. So, this is 50 meters, this is 50 meters, and this is 50 meters. Okay? So, CS is omega squared L cubed over 24 P squared. Okay? So, therefore, yung CS natin is equal to 9 times with 50 meter length na ginamit and plus yung last na part is 8 meters na lang yung ginamit. So, 9 times of W, which is, yung W natin is 0.05 squared times the length na 50 cube. So that's in meters, pero okay lang, maka-cancel out naman yung mga centimeters. That's 24 over times P. So yung ginamit na P na pool is ito. We use 8 kilogram because 5.5 is a standard pool, but we use 8 kilogram for the pool, for our pool. So that's 8 squared. Okay? So remember, yung 0.05, that's kilogram per meter. So we have meter squared dito. Kilogram. 0.05 kilogram per kilogram squared, meter squared. Ito, this is meter cube. So maka-cancel out yung meter squared. Yung kilogram din maka-cancel out because this is kilogram squared. So meter na lang maiiwan. So it's okay not to convert kahit di consistent yung mga unit. So the weight here is still 0.05 because this is unit weight. So that's still okay. Times the length, mas shorter na yung length. So that's 8.650 cube. Then divide it by 24 times 8 squared. Ganun pa rin. Ayan. So that would be our total correction due to sag. So gamit tayo ng calculator. That would be 9 times 0.05 squared times 50 cube divided by 24 times 8 squared plus ito 0.05 squared times 8.650 cube divided by 24 times 8 squared. Pwede may factor out na lang. So that's it. So the correction due to sag is 1. Sobrang laki, no? Tungod sa mga sag. 83211. That's in meters. Okay. So these are our corrections. So remember that due to pool, nag-increase siya. So lagay natin, note natin ha. The tape becomes too long, and dahil sa sag, this becomes too short. Now, the true horizontal distance of the line, THD, is now equal to the measured length plus or minus the corrections, diba? The correction. So, THD now is 458.650 meters. Then, remember that we are measuring. So, okay. To measure a distance. Okay. So, the problem is about measuring, and we have a correction that is considered as correction for too long na tape. So we add that. So plus the correction due to pull. Remember, measuring and too long, that's plus 0.01365, or I think let's just use 3 decimal places na lang para consistent. So 0.014. Then eto, this becomes too short, so we subtract because this is measuring. So minus 1.832. Ayan. So that would be the correct length or the correct distance measured. So let's use a calculator to determine that. So that's 458.650 plus 0.014 minus 1.832. And this is our answer. 456.832. That's in meters. Yan. So that's our answer.